Simba the Speaker here, and we are back with another video. It's funny because I was getting ready to make this video, and I was having so much complications with my YouTube. So I think that was a sign for me to just another sign for me knowing that I'm in the right direction. I'm in the right direction. So boom, welcome back to the Simba the Speaker here. We are back with another video. Sorry y'all, let me exit some of these things out here. Okay, we are back with another video today, and I'm gonna make this a pretty quick video. I have my notes up here as usual. Today I want to talk about insurance. Insurance, right? So when you're running a remote cleaning business, before I actually continue, a couple things I want to say. Sorry, I'm kind of just getting some things prepared. A couple things I want to say. Follow my TikTok, Simba the Speaker, the with an A. Speaker, if you're looking for some more information as well. I have dropped my ebook, so I will be adding my ebook link to my YouTube videos. I will be dropping my ebook link to my YouTube videos. As well, I am doing some free 15-minute one-on-ones. If you have any questions, I will drop the link as well so that you can book as well. But yeah, so we're getting started. We're getting cranked. I got some more things coming for you guys. So I am looking forward to making more of these videos and making sure I'm giving you guys as much information as possible, so that you guys can succeed within your remote cleaning business. So today I want to talk about insurance. So let me add this here. I want to talk about cleaning biz insurance. Now, understand this, right? When we're talking to subcontractors, right? We want subcontractors to be, we want subcontractors to have their own insurance, right? We would like subcontractors to have their own insurance, but I still recommend you getting your own set of insurance, right? You can literally get $1 million policy for about 50 to 60 bucks a month, but I still recommend that you get your own insurance. So that's something that we're gonna add here, right? So we want subcontractors should have insurance, but we need to get some as well. That's right, and the reason that we want to do this is because we technically just want to cover our own, cover our own, make sure that we're good as well. You hopefully shouldn't have to use it. I've yet to have to use my insurance. There was a situation where I almost had to use it, but we were able to negate and avoid that situation. So once again, it's still just it's safe. It's just safer to just have your own insurance. But I want to pretty much talk about a couple things. So pretty much I have here with my notes. So we're gonna talk about the key types of insurance. What are the key types of insurance? But before we go into that, let's quickly dive into why insurance is needed, right? Why insurance is needed. What does having an insurance for a cleaning business do for you, right? Now understand accidents happen. It is what it is. It comes with the game, right? If in a perfect world, we would love for accidents not to happen, but accidents do happen. So by having insurance, insurance is a financial protector. You probably hear that's my cat food going. I'll just let it. I think it should be done right now. Okay, that should have been the last one. Okay, perfect. So insurance is a financial protection from accidents, damages, and lawsuits, right? Financial protection from accidents, damages, and lawsuits. Now, don't get me wrong, right? Initially, when you're first starting your remote cleaning business, it may not be something that you need, but it is something that's good to have, right? And if it is something that you can add into your low overhead costs, just to be safe, I'd rather be safer. Sorry, lately I've been learning this lesson of um, just kind of staying ready so you don't have to get ready. And I've had a situation like that in which, you know, unfortunately, because I didn't stay ready, I had to get ready at a time that I should have been ready, right? So what is insurance does is pretty much a financial protection from accidents, damages, and lawsuits. Things do happen. Things are going to happen. I'll be honest with you, right? So with that being said, you want to make sure that you are well protected from these things happening, so that you don't have to come out of pocket. Insurance is amazing, and it really helps a lot. So there are different types of insurance, but I'm going to talk about the three that you would usually hear and the three that people would usually talk about. So today we are going to talk about general liability. General liability. So general liability covers claims for damages, for property damages, personal injury caused to the clients, right? Personal injuries caused to clients. And so that's why I said this one probably is the most typical and the most important one, right? Because really, when you're running that remote cleaning, when you're running that remote cleaning business, right, what you're really focusing on is like if damages happen. So let's say a cleaner is cleaning something and something happens, right? She breaks or he breaks something, right? This is where that general liability will come in. Now you won't really ever have a situation where you're causing personal injury, right? Now I could see it happen if, like, for example, let's say your cleaners were just mopping in the area and they didn't dry up the area right, and let's say a client slips and falls, right? So that's something that would be covered in general liability. But general liability, majority of the time, is what you're going to use if something breaks, right? If a cleaner, is trying to clean something and by accident something breaks, right? And so that is something that you really want to make sure that you have. And then people will ask, right? I think that's something I mentioned. I've had times where clients do ask. Some of my most expensive clients, or some of my clients that had a very expensive property, usually ask just in case. So it is pretty important. So a typical coverage, right? So what a typical coverage is like $1 million coverage. It could be less. So we'll say typical coverage 500K to 1M. That's a typical coverage. And for a company like Next, let's say Next Insurance, you know what? It's Hitchcock. This will really usually run you from 50 to 75 max. So, and the reason I said it's good to have the, you kind of have to kind of see how you want to do it, because realistically, right? Remember, insurance is good, but when you do use insurance, your price, the price of your premium goes up after you put in a couple claims. My bad, me. After you put in a couple claims, so understand that to kind of deduct whether, like, for example, the situation I had, right, or the situation I was in, we came out of pocket and just paid the client. Why did we do that? We did a cost benefit analysis, right? If if our insurance premium were to increase, what would the monthly cost potentially be? If that's the case, over a 12 to 24-month span, would it be cheaper to just pay this client one time and keep the same premium price, or would it be more expensive on our end to continue? Or would it be more expensive on our end to sit there putting a claim, and then they end up increasing our premium price over a span of 12 to 24 months? We're paying more than what we would have paid the client. So that's another thing, right? With insurance, right? You want to see, like, depending on the situation, because sometimes it's a minor thing that breaks, and it may not be too expensive to replace and just come out of pocket. Yeah, it is not as convenient to come out of pocket in the short term, but sometimes, remember, as business, in business, we're looking to play the long term game sometimes, right? And for me, we felt like that was just a better long term move. So that's general liability. Um, like I said, that could be $50 to $75 a month. You could use that to you could use that. It covers major and minor accidents. So it helps cover major and minor accidents. So we have that right there. This is just a little bit about general liability. I don't want to go too deep into it because, like I said, I think I was telling you guys in my previous videos, I'm trying to cut these videos shorter so that I still give you guys enough information. Why not make you sit here for an hour, right? So we have general liability. Now the next one that's usually that you'll hear people talk about or type of insurance is bonding, right? So this usually covers client losses due to theft or fraud by workers. So this one is not the one that you would hear as often. This one is not required as much. General liability is the one that is is something that you would really want to have. But if you want, you can have. They'll say, "Hey, are you?" You'll hear people say like they're insured and bonded. That's something that you'll hear a lot of service customers promote as a way to promote their business. That they're insured and bonded. So bonded covers client losses due to theft or fraud. So let's say you have a cleaner that you thought you vetted out good and they steal something from one of your clients, right? Now we have the bond where if it is an expensive item or if it's something that maybe a lot for you to come out of pocket, you can go through that bonding and put in a claim for that as well. You'll put in that theft claim, and with that being said, that would help you cover that, right? So, like I said, this is not really usually usually something that people ask, but they will ask. Some people will say, "Are you insured?" or some people will say, "Are you insured and bonded, or are you insured or bonded?" Right? Being bonded is good for reputation. Good for branding. This one is good for branding and reputation, right? So when people, like I said, when people hear that you are insured and people hear that you are also bonded, especially for clients that know about these type of insurances and bonding and know about the structure of having good insurance and actually having a good business, this makes them feel safer, right? Clients will shop with you or be more confident to shop with you when they know that you are insured and bonded. So right, if you're insured and bonded, sometimes you could be one and not the other. For me, if I was gonna just pick one, I definitely would go the insured route. But bonding, bonding would be something that it's just something extra you can have, just to, like I said, good for reputation, good for branding. And if you do have a subcontractor that does end up taking something, then you have that there is right. Like I said, whenever, and I may not have said this in the beginning of the video, but make sure at all times when you are hiring subcontractors, just in case, especially for bonding, that we're doing background checks and making sure that these subcontractors are good subcontractors, right? So I'm just gonna add this quick tip. Background check for onboarding, right? So say if you do onboarding for a subcontractor, you see that they may have had a history of theft, right? They may have had a history of stealing things or taking things, or even if it's like retail theft or whatever, right? This should definitely be, it should raise a flag. That's the best way I want to put it. It should raise a flag, right? And you might want to make sure. Let's say that you are on board, and that means you do say that, hey, you need to have your own insurance. You may want to know if they have general liability, yeah, but you may also then require them to be bonded as well, just because you've seen if they had a history of it, and not to say that they will be the one cleaning or they will be the one taking something, but if you see there is a history, you may just want to have them bonded or know that they're bonded, and make sure that your company is bonded just in case something like that happens as well. And then I won't go too deep into it. So another thing that we do have, another thing that we do have as well, while a client actually just wants to book a cleaning while I'm making this video. So I'm gonna actually end the video off soon because I just wanted to talk about, like I said, general liability and bonding and what those things are. If we go back to, remember, general liability just covers claims for property damages and personal injury caused to the client by us. Like I said, that could be accidents, breaking something, or maybe the customer slips and fall. Or bonding has to do with any losses due to theft or fraud by a subcontractor or worker that we may work with. Now, granted, there are obviously other types of insurance. You have workers' compensation as well, but we do the subcontractor model. That's why I like doing the subcontractor model, because we can ensure that they have their own insurance. Obviously, you do have, for example, commercial property insurance. So when you're that could be insurance for your own commercial property. If you are if you are maybe you have an office, you keep supplies there, you wanted to have an office and you wanted to work there, you want to make sure that that's insured as well. So those are the different types of insurance that you could also relate to with the cleaning company. But the major thing that you want to focus on, at least, being insured and bonded, right? General liability for insurance between $500,000 to $1 million, and then being bonded. So if something does happen due to theft or loss, then you know that your company is good. No, but with that being said, we're gonna end the video there. I didn't want to make this video too long. I try to keep this video at least under 20 minutes. Um, with that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Feel free to email me as well. Leave a comment below if you don't mind. Like and subscribe to the video. If you are new to this channel, definitely subscribe. I'll be dropping a lot of videos. I have a lot of videos, like I said, scheduled and ready to go while I'm still creating more videos for you guys. But yes, grab the ebook, free 15-minute one-on-one. Check out our TikTok as well. And we are hoping to see you again in the next video.